So you may think that you are an introvert or an extrovert, but in reality, you may be the very opposite of what you're thinking. Let me tell you why. So today, I'm still walking through this book with you. I said this, you heard that. Not trying to sell it, but it's a great book. It's How Your Wiring Colors Your Communication, Kathleen Edelman. To recap, just briefly, you've got your yellows, your reds, your greens, and your blues. Each represent a temperament, and it's a book about communication, but talking through the lens of temperament. And so yellow, sanguines, speaking the language of people and fun. Red, choleric, speak the language of power and control. Green, phlegmatic, speak the language of calm and harmony. Blue, melancholic, speak the language of order and perfection. So they bring up this interesting definition of what it means to be extroverted versus introverted. And for those of y'all who have used these terms in the past and have looked into this before, when you hear these words in pop culture or just around you, most of the time people are referring to extrovert, introvert as to whether or not a person is quiet or loud. So they'll say, oh, this person is really introverted, and that just means they're more quiet, they don't say as much. Or this person is really extroverted, means they're pretty loud and they're a little more boisterous. Well, if you dive below the surface, if you've given any thought to what they actually mean or done any research, you'll actually find out that typically people define introverted versus extroverted not so much as your external manifestation, but where you internally find your energy. And so extroverted people find their energy being around people. Introverted people find their energy and recharge when they're alone. That's obviously a big generalization, or you can be an ambivert, which some people proudly call themselves, and that may just be related to that they have not thought about it hard enough or done enough self-discovery yet. I don't know. But the way that this book defines these terms is actually a third layer, which has to do with how, where you process your thoughts and your feelings. Do you process them internally or do you process them externally? So it has to do with you if you're an internal or external processor. I find this to be very interesting. As someone who would have considered himself introverted by the definition of energy, where I find my energy being alone, I still think that's partially true, but it challenges me to think about introvert, extroverted through a different lens because I often get accused of processing out loud, having a lot to say. Definitely when I'm with people, I'm talking a lot. I've got a lot of thoughts. So food for thought for you, what you may have thought about yourself, energy-wise, introvert, extroverted, that definition may not also have to do with where you process your thoughts and feelings. They could be different. So worth diving into. I'll say this. Yellows and reds on this framework are extroverted. Greens and blues, they say, are introverted. And so follow for more. We'll get to more details of this framework.